let's talk about another Disney-related trailer with the She-Hulk trailer that just dropped about an hour or so before we started recording this. And boy, do we have some thoughts on this. I've been very curious about the intro of She-Hulk as a character in the MCU. I am familiar enough with the character, but she's not like, oh, this is my encyclopedic knowledge character like Nightwing or Spider-Man or Batman. Like, I'm familiar with her. I know, like a lot of other Marvel fans, about a Wikipedia's amount, Wikipedia pages amount. So I was kind of on the fence when it came to the She-Hulk TV series. It very much would come down to that first trailer of like, okay, what am I thinking of this? And after seeing this trailer, I don't think it's for me, but that's okay. We've said this many times about Supergirl. Supergirl's not for me, absolutely. But if it gets some other people into the comic book genre, awesome. But whether the show is for you or not, can we all agree, what the heck did Marvel do with this CGI? Oh my gosh. Like, there's been times that Marvel has had some sketchy CGI, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness being the most glaring one of recent memory, but by and large, they've got passable CG, especially lately when it comes to Hulk. Like, Professor Hulk looks pretty good in Endgame, and he looks pretty good on this show here. But when we get to Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk, something is uncanny valley there. It doesn't, maybe her face is too smooth, whereas Professor Hulk has like a little bit of stubble. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the facial features like the eyes and nose are just slightly out of alignment, which could throw everything off, a la Will Smith's Genie in Aladdin. I don't know what it is, but something about it just seemed off. Also, I want to float it over to you. In this trailer, at least for me, I got the sense that she's able to switch between Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk. Did you get the same impression from this?
I did. Yeah, no, I absolutely did.
Why is that weird, Josh?
Because, well, in the comics, at least, again, not experts here, like, to my understanding, She-Hulk is permanent. Like, it's a permanent switch. So, that's just weird. And it's also hard because the trailer doesn't seem like it can decide if she's permanent or not either. Because, like, it's at first, it's like, yeah, you can go back and forth. And then by the end, it's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm stuck in this body, and now I have to date in my 30s as She-Hulk, which is like, seems like an odd choice, but okay.
So what you're saying is, if you want to date She-Hulk, you have to be a little bit of a daredevil.
So anyway,
I bring that up. I bring that up because this trailer first debuted at the Disney Upfronts. You know who else was at the Disney Upfronts? A certain Dr. Cox, better known as Charlie Cox, which in the comics, Daredevil and She-Hulk have dated and are also attorneys at law. Do you think Daredevil will show up in this show?
Sure, why not? I mean, apparently we can only have him show up in things and not actually do anything. So
okay, if you had to put money on it, who do you think? What show do you think is more likely to feature Daredevil first? She-Hulk or the upcoming Echo series, which is a spinoff of Hawkeye?
Because of the involvement of Kingpin, I want to say Echo. I honestly want to say Echo feels more likely, but just because that's a world that's already technically connected to him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in She-Hulk. I just don't know if they're going to date. How weird is that going to be? Like, if that's your first interaction with Daredevil, that's somebody who happens to date She-Hulk. Like, that's your first interaction with them. That's kind of weird.
I don't think that'll be a lot of people's first interaction with Daredevil because there was this movie that came out a few months ago. I don't know if you remember it. It was called No Way Home. It did okay at the box office.
Nah. I heard it was a crappy movie.
And I think people remember, or at least could piece together that, oh hey, that dude that's holding the snow globe is Daredevil. Then that snow globe got turned into a brick, and so his hand doesn't quite cover it. I'm not letting that go.
I mean, I know, but like, we don't spend a whole lot of time with him, and I think if he shows up in She-Hulk, we're going to spend a decent amount of time with him. So I don't know, man. I think it could go out any way. I personally was not that impressed by this, but then again, I don't know if I'm the target demographic. But I think the main thing that just doesn't make me impressed by it is like the trailer's cut weird, the
It is.
storyline it isn't very clear, and the CGI looks a little off.
I will say, though, I think this movie will be important going forward because we've been setting up some pieces for like the anti-Avengers or the Thunderbolts, if you will, with like Captain America and the not Captain America and Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, setting up John Walker. Yelena's still out there. She could be on either team. There have been some ideas floated around, and I totally buy it because it would make a lot of sense. We bring back in Thunderbolt Ross. I don't know if he filmed his stuff before that actor passed away, whether they would recast him or not. They could bring in Red Hulk as the lead. That's one of the big missing pieces of the Thunderbolts. Now, we're in an unfortunate situation that William Hurt recently passed away, so do we recast him or do we do Red Hulk is purely CGI and we just get a different voice actor and physical model for him to be based off of?
Yeah.
But I can see the show introducing Red Hulk. We get Abomination in the trailer, and they've already confirmed that Wong will be on the show because he's buddies with Abomination now.
They're best friends.
They're in,
which kind of makes me want to have like see Wong bring like Abomination over with karaoke adventures with Shang. That would Shang-Chi. That would just be so fun.
I don't want her to date Daredevil. I kind of want her to date Shang-Chi.
Let's go.
Because that's kind of the running joke with Shang-Chi is, when are you going to find someone to settle down? I would love it if he comes home to his family with She-Hulk and they'll be like, well, it's not the worst option out there. And Katie will be like, I'm right here.
Sure. Let's go for it. Why not? What could possibly go wrong?